If you're thinking about moving to Niwot, Colorado, you're probably thinking one thing: how expensive is it to live there? Well, I'll be honest with you. This is not the hidden gem that is the cheap hidden gem of Boulder County. But it's not expensive for just no reason. There's a great reason for the cost here in town. A lot of that has to do with housing, and that's where we're gonna start. But through this video, I'm gonna break down all of the cost of living, from everyday expenses to taxes to, of course, the cost of a home. Okay, so we're gonna start with housing because this is a big one. It's on everyone's mind. Here, to get in the door in Niwot, generally speaking, a single family home is gonna be starting around $1 million, but the prices go up from there. Where you can always find a deal and you can find a smaller house in the 600s and 700s, realistically, you should plan for that $1 million+ budget. A lot of homes that you really want to look at too are going to be 1.2 to 1.8 million. That's a lot of money. And then we can also say, as we're here, you can go way up, $3, $4, $5 million, $6 million, you got a home with views up on the hill. But I want to talk about why it costs so much. Well, it's a town of 4,300 people. It's a small town. You don't have a ton of options, and homes don't turn over that quickly. So supply and demand will necessarily keep those prices pretty high. But you're not paying for nothing. You get homes that have larger lots, more privacy, great space between neighbors. That's a really nice commodity for here in Niwot. We're going to talk about some of the other expenses, but necessarily you must focus on how much does the home cost to get in the door. I mentioned inventory. I'll say this as a tip: don't sleep on the house you see, because it will be gone before you know it. Houses seldom come up, so you want to be ready to move when that perfect one hits your radar. So let's dive into property taxes. Of course, they go with home ownership, and you're going to have to pay them no matter what. But here's the good news. In Colorado and here in Niwot, those taxes are lower, especially compared to Texas, Florida. And here's what I mean. Generally speaking, the home value is taxed at about 0.5 to 0.7%. So roughly speaking, on a $1.2 million house, you're gonna be paying about $6,000 to about $8,500 per year. It's not that much. It's not where it is in some parts of the world, country rather, where you're paying closer to 3%. So that's great, but I will also say you wanna check when you're looking at an individual neighborhood or area in Colorado and make sure there aren't special taxing districts, metro districts, or HOAs that add to those costs. But specifically regarding taxes, you're not doing too bad here in Niwot. So now we'll talk about your monthly expenses here in Niwot. Well, okay, we're talking about utilities. We're talking about the cost it is to run your house. And I'll say that generally speaking, pretty average here in town. If you're looking at electricity through Xcel Energy, it's probably about $150 to $300 a month for those costs, gas and electric. If you're talking about water and sewer, somewhere in the zone of $50 to $150. Again, that's an average. And then internet, $60 to $100. These costs shouldn't be too much above where you see in many parts of Colorado or Boulder County, but a couple of specifics. It really depends on the time of year. If you do have one of these larger lots in Niwot, you are gonna spend more money. That water bill could come up to $300 pretty quickly if you're watering a lot of grass, growing a garden. Keep that in mind, just on the property size. I'll also say this: when you are looking at water in this area, Left Hand Water District is your water provider, and it's really great. It's a smaller company, large enough to do a great job, but a little bit more affordable than some of the big city water companies. So that's kind of a perk. Otherwise, let's dive into some of those other costs you might face here in town. So I'm not sure where you're watching from, but on your radar, are the costs here higher or lower than what you're paying? And are you surprised by those costs that you're seeing here in Niwot? How about you leave your answer in the comments? I'd love to hear what you're thinking and how it compares. So here's a quick story for you. I had some buyers reach out and they really wanted to move from Boulder to Niwot. They had a small family and they were very interested in being within walking distance to Niwot Elementary School. We found them a place, they moved in, and they did tell me afterwards, hey, you know what? We are paying a little bit more because we have this giant lot. We were on a tiny lot in Boulder. So they are paying a little bit more, they said, but it's well worth it. So that trade-off, cost of living versus quality of life, walking the kid to and from school, one out. So that's just a fun story for you. So let's talk for a minute about groceries, dining, and just everyday expenses here in town. Well, this is where you're gonna find it's sort of on that Boulder County average. In other words, a little bit elevated. This isn't a great story. We do spend a little bit more than the national average in Boulder County and in Niwot in particular. And that's from groceries to dining out to all of those fun and essential spends that we have to take on. Now, if you are looking for a way to beat that and kind of lower your budget, you can zip over to Longmont and you're gonna find a lot more practical cost of groceries, of even restaurants, and all that is only 15 minutes at the most drive from here. If you are wanting to kind of get a feel for what you're looking at, well, guess what? Niwot Market, the community hub we talked about, you're gonna spend, I would estimate, about 20% more, but that's for the convenience. So you will see that in a lot of places where you pay for that convenience. It's right there. And they do have awesome, great ingredients, or sorry, I should say items for sale. So what about the transportation? When you live here, are you facing that big grind, the car time, the expenses? Well, I'd say no, you're doing pretty well. And here's the reason why. Niwot's super close to Longmont and Boulder. We've talked about that, but you're pretty quick. Unless you're hitting that main rush hour time, you're getting to Boulder in 10 minutes. Same as for getting to Longmont. And so that's something that keeps that transportation wear and tear pretty low. Also, you can jump on the bus, so that keeps the costs low. You do have that RTD that goes between Longmont and Boulder. And then let's talk about this. There's no major tollways. Most people will have no trouble jumping on the highway or taking the back roads, 79th to 75th, and zigzag your way into town or going out towards Longmont. So I think transportation-wise, pretty easy. So this time we're gonna talk about the hidden cost of living in Niwot. This one's not one you think about. Yeah, you may say, okay, I paid a little more for the house, but what you're really paying for is a lifestyle shift. You may find that when you move here, you're spending a little bit more money on your outdoor gear, all that fun stuff to get out and enjoy Colorado. You also may be spending a little bit more money entertaining from home because you may be having folks over and enjoying your space. Those are just a few of the ways that you may pay to live in Niwot. Okay, so let's sum it up. To find out, is it worth it for you to move to Niwot? Well, I'll say this. If you're looking for that community-driven lifestyle, if you're looking for that space, that privacy within your home and on your property, if you're looking to really kind of just slow down the pace and not be bumping elbows with your neighbors like you would in Boulder, well then yes, it's worth it, well worth it. But if you're kind of just trying to find the most bang for your buck or the least expensive place in Boulder County, I'd say no, it's not worth it. Don't try Niwot on. Here's what I'm gonna tell you though. If you're looking for something in Boulder County and you wanna have more information, explore the neighborhoods and the towns that we have to offer, please reach out because I would love to guide you through that process. I'm Michael with Lovato Properties and I'm just a phone call away.